One thing we've talked about is the importance of LinkedIn, but let's go to the average individual that maybe they already have a job.
Yep.
Maybe they're a company and things are going just fine. And they don't have any sort of like brand presence and they're definitely not using LinkedIn. Or maybe they did a post, it fell on deaf ears and they're like, this platform sucks. And
Yeah.
then they left. What would you say to those folks?
Yeah. So the number one thing I always tell people is, even though it's funny because I used LinkedIn when I needed LinkedIn, but don't use LinkedIn when you need to use LinkedIn. It's kind of like, those friends that hit you up and you're like, oh, like you cringe when you see their name on your phone because it's like,
Uh, you
every
just broke
time.
Yeah.
up with that person
Yeah.
and now you want to talk.
Right.
Go.
Yeah, they want
You know
something
they
from
want
you.
something or need
They want
something. Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And same thing is true for LinkedIn. So if you're only using LinkedIn when you need it, people are going to be like, we haven't even talked in months. There's no relationship there other than you wanting things from me. So that would be my first thing. But the second thing is that people need to wrap their heads around this idea. If you haven't been on LinkedIn in a while, please go on LinkedIn, because if you were on 5 or 6 years ago, the culture has dramatically changed. It's no longer this place just for recruiting and salespeople. It really is the world's largest networking event. There are over 700, I think the last time I saw it was 740 million users on the platform. It's always been this quickly growing giant, and it's become more important since the pandemic began. And so, whether or not you choose to be on LinkedIn, people are looking at your profile on
Yeah.
LinkedIn. Think about that. If you were walking into a room with 740 people, most people are showing up with like a stained t-shirt and dirty jeans. You know what I mean? Like, when you have a profile that doesn't look good, that isn't optimized, that doesn't reflect your personality and your experience, that's what you're showing up as. And so if you decide last minute that you need a job all of a sudden because you got laid off, which we're all at risk of losing our income during this pandemic, you're going to be in hot water because you're trying to go from a dirty t-shirt to a tux, right?
I love that. I love that. That makes sense to me.
Good. So the first thing that I would say is that regardless of where you're at in your career, take the time to optimize your LinkedIn profile and really think of it as like a website or a career museum. Like, you want it to look good.